Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release, playing the video games released 42 years ago today. Let's go to November 1982.
Together, taking the time.
We were last landing lunarly on the ZX Spectrum. Let's see what our next game is. It's time to play on the Commodore VIC-20. This is Martian Raider. Martian Raider. I believe we got an ad for this one, maybe? Here's the first box you would have seen because it's originally from the United Kingdom by Romic Software. Unexpanded VIC-20, no extra memory needed. Romic Software does what the classic video game designers do, which means they put the picture of the game on the box. That's real balls. Real action shot of the game. Will you be the Supreme World Champion? I think we've been asked that before, and yes, we will. You can see we flip it over on the back, and it's a cassette case, because video games were played on cassettes in November 1982, at least on the home computer space. What other artwork do we have for Martian Raider? When this came to the United States, and in other parts of the world, it was done by Broderbund. Broderbund! At this point, they've done over 30 video games. It's still humble beginnings. One of the other really good ones that looks kind of like this box was Shark Attack that Broderbund did, at least compared to in relation to this developer. Flip it over the back, we're going to be streaking through deep space, guiding intergalactic battleships in an attack on Mars. Skimming perilously close to the surface of the planet, you devastate Martian cities and destroy ammunition dumps. Hey, I think we've played this before. But there it is, by Clifford Ramshaw. We're not shy to him either. This is the 16th game that Clifford Ramshaw has done that we played on the show, or showcased. There's the opening of the entire box there, and then, yes, the cassette case for Martian Raider. Whether you're in the United Kingdom or the United States, we're going to play the first one. We're going to the UK to play Martian Raider by Romic Software, the beginning of November 1982. This marks our 307th game for the Commodore VIC-20. Look at this. I can press the fire key and just go. Oh, look at that. We're in. Just go. And the game begins, and the joystick is working. This is another one of those games that just makes me feel like it screams Commodore VIC-20. And it sounds like it's screaming the Commodore VIC-20. It feels like every time I shoot, it's blocking the rest of the sound effects, or I'm cutting off sound effects as I go. So we're witnessing another Scramble variant, very much like Scramble. This is originally by Romic Software, the publisher that did this. This is the 6th game that we've seen by Romic. And this is reminiscent. I believe we saw a compilation pack that they did too. Oh, we blew up. Yes, Brian, so janky. Wait a second. Oh, we died again. That was fast. They brought us to the level 2 when we died. That's nice. A very, very nice game of Scramble that's letting us go to the next level. So look at the top. I guess L1 isn't level 1 or level 2, but you can tell that they are attempting to scroll, and we've already seen this on the Commodore VIC-20. It's very, very difficult to do, but one of the best scrolling examples we've seen at this point was Lunar Leaper. If you want to see really nice scrolling on the Commodore VIC-20, I have no idea how they did it. Lunar Leaper is a great example. So, yeah, this one's rough, but it is not the worst Scramble-type game we played up to this far. Romic Software has done some subpar games. Oh, we're going to the next level. Now we got missiles flying at us. Some of the other games that you could be seeing by Romic would be games like Sea Invasion. It takes place on one screen without scrolling, or Space Attack. Broderbund, though, is the one that brought a Shark Attack. It still kind of like this on the Commodore VIC-20, but Clifford Ramshaw that did this is even more interesting. Clifford Ramshaw has done one of the best Scramble variants we've played up to this point. So they just describe the high score, and then you just go right into the game again when you push the button. He did a game called Strike Force on the TRS-80, or worked with some people with Strike Force. Strike Force is one of the best Scramble variants that you could play right now. Another one of the games he's played on the Commodore, VIC-20 was The Wizard and the Princess, but not the one you're thinking by Sierra. It's a very obscure, weird adventure game, and I love it. It's way out there. And he also did the Shark Attack one that Broderbund did. It all just comes together in the grand circle of video game life. So this marks the 48th Scramble clone that we played thus far. And it's not going to stop. 48 games that scroll automatically to the right. I don't think we count the ones that scroll automatically to the left. Those are even more rare. And it goes from level to level. If you can survive long enough, you have fuel. Make sure you blow those up to take them out. Oh yeah, right. Oh, I can take damage. It's just the hit detection is so off. That's true, but you did not type this in. This is from a cassette. You actually got this. So, believe it or not, this is not the worst Scramble that we've seen up to this point. We've played Attack on MS-DOS. That is pretty bad. It is worse than this one. We've played Red Alert, the one by Simon Parker on the Commodore VIC-20. The very worst, though, is a game called Ground Attack that Clifford Ramshaw did. So this game, which is not the worst, is done by a developer who has done the worst Scramble variant we've seen thus far, and one of the best Scramble variants thus far. So he's got some range. He gets around. I'd say, yeah, we'll do that. That's enough of our quick taste of Martian Raider. Of all the games you can play right now across all home computers, it has a lot to live up to, but it is still kind of similar to some of the lower-end games on the Commodore VIC-20. I would say this is in the same league as some other Scramble games like Avenger that Abacus Software did for the ZX Spectrum, or Kamikaze. This has me wondering, though, is this the same Clifford Ramshaw? Is it the same guy who has one of the best Scramble games and one of the worst, and then right here, somewhere in between? It's amazing. Because Strike Force is great, and Ground Attack is one of the worst for a home computer. So of all the games you can play right now across all home computers, you would find enjoyment in this if you had the Commodore VIC-20. But since we played everything, and there's a lot of other games that play like Scramble and even smoother scrolling across all other home computers, I'm going to have to go low. It is bad. Of all the games you could play up to this point, you notice the hit detection was a little off. There was some graphical glitches. It is not the worst, but it is bad. I'm going to actually have to not defer to the chat. If I look over in the chat, I see some 2.5s. So some people rating around the average range for all the games you can play across all home computers. But then I also see some 2s, which 2 is pretty much the bad range. I'm going to go even lower. 1.5 stars because I've seen things, man. I've seen a lot of games, and this one is a bad game, considering all the other ones on home computers. All right, let's see what our next game is. But first, we got to kick it into high gear.
The world's in danger, only you can save. Skill, speed, doesn't see it.
Oh, there we go. What an opening. Oh, I love it. Blending the game and the movie shots is great.
Megaforce for your Atari VCS. One of the new games of the century from 20th Century Fox.
Nice. So wait a second. Was that Bryan Cranston that was in the commercial right in the beginning? It looked like his face right in the beginning there. Was that... Is this Bryan Cranston? That was Bryan Cranston. It had to have been, right? Right before the helmet goes on? That's wild. So this is Megaforce for the Atari 2600. Let's check it out. The most 80s movie has now become a video game. Here's the box for Megaforce. This is only on the Atari 2600. It is the 172nd game that we've played on the console that everyone needs to get. Look at this box. It's just pretty much the movie poster, and that's what a lot of the 20th Century Fox video games are kind of doing. You know, just take a movie, slap it on the front, and then you got the artwork. Easy peasy, no problem. Flip it over on the back, using the tagline from the movie, "Deeds, not words." Yeah, right? I had no idea. Jack Black doing commercials I was familiar with, but I had no idea there was Bryan Cranston in a commercial. If it really was him, you maybe want to look it up to confirm that. It just really looked like Bryan Cranston. All right, so we're going to be flying the Moto Fighter in this one. Nice. Only one player game, but how many variations does it have? That's the question. Here's the other artwork for Megaforce. Yes. Oh, the box has the movie. If you love the movie, you're going to love it. These licensed games are starting to pick up. What's going on? I think they realize people are going to buy this stuff. This one is by Fox Video Games. It is the 5th game that we've seen by that company publishing, and they're all been on the Atari 2600. Here's the ad you would have seen in magazines with a few others. Turmoil, I think, is the only... Oh, no. Most of these we've seen... Oh, Alien. That's the one coming up next. The one based on the movie. I'm excited for that one, but you haven't seen it yet. It's right around the corner. We will be seeing Alien soon. There's the cartridge we're going to pop into play. Megaforce. Oh, yeah, an example of the screenshot, too. I'm excited. So here's the manual. How do we play this? Manual has all the game instructions you would ever need. The setup is including the screenshot telling us what everything is, where a fuel is, moto fighter, what the bullets are, what play level you're on, how many moto fighters you have remaining, and then Sardone. Sardone? The flashing arrow, and it explains our objective. Because your reputation as a clever and daring member of the Megaforce, you've been sent to Sardone, a strategically important democratic nation currently under attack. Your mission is to destroy the enemy headquarters. Armed with the most advanced fighting machine, the Moto Fighter. You're dropped outside of Sardone. You must pass the city and make your way across the barren desert to the enemy headquarters on a limited supply of fuel. Again, a game with fuel. It's a big thing with video games. We've seen that where you got to blow out the fuel to keep going, or use it as a timer for lots of games. Yeah, right. There's a lot going on with this game. The controls are a joystick that you have plugged in. It's only one player, so you just need the one joystick, one button. Let's see how they make it work. We're going to be taking control of the Moto Fighter. It fires straight forward if you're in the air because it can fly. It's not just a motorcycle. It's a flying motorcycle. And then when you're on the ground, it fires diagonally down toward the ground. And then they explain the screen display. This has a lot of stuff. Look at the difficulty switches and play levels. We got 4 different levels, and the left difficulty switch and the right difficulty switch make changes to the game. Yes, that's already getting points in my book. Let's change up the game. I love it. Then we got the fuel moto fighters and how scoring works in the game. And then all the different objects you're going to see. Palm trees. Can we blow those up? Oh, you can blast them, but it has no effect on the game. You got ground rockets, enemy aircraft, Sardone in white. And the enemy headquarters are in black. We got to blow them up. Get the fuel depots and then prizes. And then there's the prize chart over on the top left. And we got some hints directly from Dallas North. Yeah, right. You can see the ground rockets are used on the. Yeah, so they even give us the tips and tricks, and then you can put your score in. I actually was familiar with seeing this first on the Nintendo Entertainment System because I didn't have manuals of the Atari 2600 games. Now that I've been cracking open all these manuals on the Atari, I am surprised and love that I see the place to put your score in, or like notes in the manual is awesome. And then we got some more games right here above my head that Fox Video Games is going to bring us, like Alien. I'm excited for that one, and even more coming attractions too. All right, so this one is, available in PAL regions as well. Let's pop in Megaforce to play. This is by Doug Neubauer, Fox Video Games in the beginning of November 1982. Doug Neubauer, the Doug Neubauer, if you're not familiar with him, he's the guy that did Star Raiders on the Atari home computer and on the Atari 2600, the Star Raiders. All right, let's go. I just want to go with the game mode and then play. So hit reset. We're on defend, so I can move left and right. If I'm on the ground as a motorcycle, I can fire shots like that. Oh, this is fast, action-packed. Okay, so if you move to the top, it automatically switches you to a flying motorcycle, and then now it's like I'm playing this actually is like a Defender game because I can move left and right. Look at that, I got the fuel depots there. You got enemies coming out of the ground. Wait, did I just blow up Sardone? Let me see. Can I just fly? You can blow up everything. Look at the palm trees, the arrows on the ground. Look at this. Look at that. That's awesome. Oh, just keep pointing me to I'm supposed to go to the right. Even though I can fly back and forth. The one thing that's missing, though, is there's no radar, like a true Defender game. But it does allow you to move back and forth. Let's see if we can get to the base. My fuel is at the top. Looks like I got alerts coming up. I have bullets to dodge enemies. Yeah, that's right, Marshall. I did shoot my own city just because there's firepower. It's so much firepower. I love it. Get some more fuel. Gotta keep going. Man, yeah, it's usual when we play these style of games, we can see a radar to know what's coming ahead, like how fast I can go. But now, since I don't know what's coming ahead, these UFOs fly at us really fast. Whoa. But it still goes, and I think that's it. Okay, that's all the lives it went through. Wow, really, really fast. So we got a vehicular combat, a motorcycle combat game. Of all the video games we played up to this point, we call these like car motorcycle combat style games. This is awesome, being able to control a flying motorcycle and play. The flying motorcycle is brand new. Oh, I need to stop shooting my own city. But the game style like this is the 8th game that includes car or motorcycle combat. And usually, one of the very first ones we played was the one where you're driving over people as cars. There it is. Kill, kill, kill. Yeah. And here's what's also interesting. Once you beat one round, it continues on this game until you move to the next one. So this game does not automatically go to the next stage like we've seen with other games. And I'm not doing a very good job defending my city. I'm good at flying at the other end, but gosh, this is just fun to play. This is very well translated an action movie into what you'd expect. I want to drive the motorcycle, fly in the air, shoot things. It's got lots of mechanics from other games, like needing to have fuel to continue to press forward. Man, if I was going to be picky just because it plays like Defender, I'm just wanting a mini-map or a little radar to play to be able to see where I'm going. But you got to admit, man, yeah, the flicker also does it well to its advantage. So let me go to another game mode. So you can see I can go Mega Force 2 and then reset this one. Now this one is a slightly different map. It's meant to be the second level, but you don't go there automatically. You have to use the game select switch to go through that. And I haven't even touched on the difficulty switches. I could use the difficulty switches and flip them around and make even more changes to the game. So much fun. So while it's loosely based on Defender, it still is taking a big homage to it. This is the 37th game we played that plays pretty close to Defender, and there's already been a few on the Atari 2600 that besides the official Defender, there's other ones that play kind of like Defender on the Atari. Yeah, so home consoles, this is the 6th Defender variant, and some of the really good ones would be like Planet Defender on the Creative Vision. We rated that one really high. Chopper Command on the Atari 2600. Space Raiders on the Arcadia 2001. And Star Wars, which Star Wars is awesome. As a Defender-style game, The Empire Strikes Back here on the Atari is so good. And there you go, that's the next one. Let's do Game Mode 3. So, Cosmic Raiders was also another one we played on the Valley Astrocade. I keep wanting to just continue firing off, but you want to not let your city be destroyed. I love the transition, too. Going from down the top down to the bottom is so much fun. Alright, so lots of game variations, game modes, difficulty switches. Look at that. There's my city, and I can just tear it up. Blow the whole thing up. I think we lose... What am I defending now? It's saying alert and defending, but the whole city's destroyed. Sardone's... Yeah, if the city died, it's probably because we did it, though. We destroyed the city. So we go into level 4. In a way, this reminds me of some later games we're going to play in Japan, where you transform from a vehicle into a mech that flies around the screen. So, really, really cool concept. We just don't see anything. There's not anything that's doing that in the game right now. But once you're flying up in the air like this, it's pretty much just like Defender. Controls are responsive, fast, quick. You feel like you have ultimate firepower, and whenever I made a mistake, it's, because just flying around so quickly. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, that's awesome. So right now, all the games I mentioned before, Planet Defender, Chopper Command, Star Wars, and Cosmic Raiders on home consoles that play kind of like this, I rated those all 4 stars of all the games you could play right now. Mega Force is still very, very good. I don't know if I could call this, though, one of the best games you could play on a home console. What's going on right now? The licensed games are good. Why is that happening? Because I grew up in a generation where the licensed games were, LJN, scary games. But yeah, this is still very, very well done for all the games you could play. It is only one player, and the other game variations make up for it. But looking over the chat, I see lots of people throwing out 3.5 stars. There's not as much depth as like something like Vanguard or something like actual Defender for the Atari 2600. It's still very, very well done. Yeah, I would want to rate it a little bit higher than 3.5, but not as high as Star Wars. I would give Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back the nod if you wanted to compare, the Defender style games. It's almost a 4 for me, but I'll still say above average. Megaforce is good and it's fun, but it's not really enough to hit for a 4. Yeah, I'm with you there, Marshall, definitely. Yeah, right? Defender on meth. I'm going to use that one. All right, let's see what our next game is. Next, we're going to play on the Sinclair ZX81. It's still going, this little computer. This is the Merchant of Venus. Not to be confused with the Shakespeare play, Merchant of Venice, which we don't really get. Is there any games we've referenced from Shakespeare? I think this is the very first time. This is Merchant of Venus, Very clever use of the name. Here's the box. This is by Crystal, not crystal meth, which might have been happening right now. And it's also not Crystal Ware, which is another... This is the first time we've ever seen this video game company. Just Crystal. Front of the box looks very sci-fi-ish. Flip it over and you can see it's a cassette case because we played video games on cassettes right now. This marks the 83rd game we played on the ZX81 here on Chronologically Gaming. What other artwork do we have for Merchant of Venus? Oh, that's right. It was also released in its North American variety on the Timex Sinclair 1000. And way to spoil the fun, Timex. Every single game by the Timex on the Timex Sinclair 1000 looks like software. They all look like this. They just change the font. It's very, very boring. I would much rather stick with this front of the box. Definitely. All right, we also have a manual or inside sleeve for this. Oh, there we go. Okay, so, oh my gosh, we have a wall of text. Look at that. So for all the people that were wanting some lore, now we have lore. For many years, the Earth presided over the development of Venus as a thriving cultural and commercial center. Yet extremists on constructing the ultimate weapon threatened to devastate the planet if the government did not submit to their demands. Oh man, so we're going to be going to Venus and actually farming, mining on Venus? The Galactic Trade Corporations provided us with documentation to assist us, so you do need to read all this. We are not going to read it all here, but they break down what kind of ships you're going to be using in the game, how you will be trading, what highliner freighters we'll use, how to repair your ship. Yes, we're going to be doing space travel and space trading. It explains how to load the game over here. Over on the right side, it explains what kinds of things you'll be trading and what you need to buy. Thankfully, I've read through this entirety and know what to do. They even have some general notes there as well, but you have to know how to fly the plane. And even though I've read the manual and practiced several times, we're probably going to crash, just so you know. All right, let's pop at that cassette tape and play Merchant of Venus by Crystal Computing in the beginning of November 1992. 1982. We're not going that far. Not for a long time. You have won a contract from the Galactic Trading Company. Your credit limit is 50,000 Solari, from which you have to buy an initial stock and highliner freighter. So nice, started giving us different unit of currency. Which of the following class of freighters are we going to operate? Look at that. So we can buy any of these. If you go for the high-end ones, I believe you can hold more cargo, but they're slower, harder to control. And then going down, you can hold less cargo, and you can see the price gauge here. I'm going to go with Beetlejuice, one of my favorite stars. So let's go with that. I think all of them are stars, right? Yeah. So you buy it, and now we have to start going through ship inspection. Looks like we got 2 things damaged on the ship already. I guess we didn't buy it new. So now let's go ahead and effect some repairs. I'm going to go ahead and hit number 2. It's going to ask number of repair units. We have 2 things damaged, so I'm going to go ahead and do 2. And repair. So we fix our new ship. Next thing we can do is trade. So I'm going to go to the trade screen. And we're at the first outpost. From this trade screen, you can kind of understand how this game works. It is a very slimmed down version of like a space trading simulation game. So what we can do is buy a sandcrawler, land speeder, robo-drone, cyborg, plasteel, technetium. Whoa, they're just taking from so much. Look at, we got dilithium crystals from Star Trek. We got Star Wars sandcrawlers and land speeders. We got robots and cyborgs. This is... and then Mylar. Wait, is that Melange? Did they say? Yeah, and we have Dune, too. They're just taking as many sci-fi themes as they can here. All right, so I think we should get some dilithium crystals for sure. Oh, yeah. First, I need to say buy, and then, I mean, you need to buy dilithium crystals. Let's buy one of those. And we'll buy, if we're playing Dune, let's buy some Melange, too. And I'll buy some of that. Give me 20 of those. But we really need Illyrian. So let's buy some Illyrian, because this is the way we can use to actually transport, and it's like the fuel of our ship. Okay, so how much do we want of this? I want to go with 200. Oh wait, 200. I don't think it'll let me go. I think it'll do 0. Let's try it again. Do Illyrian. And I want 200 of that. Can I do more than 200? Yeah, let's do more. Buy. I need a lot of fuel. So let's go with 900. Okay, that's good enough for now. All right, let's go ahead and we hit X to go back out of the screen. And then now we have to transfer the Illyrian that we got into our ship. So you can kind of feel the simulation theme here. So we got our cargo of Illyrian, and then we need to get it to the store. So we go cargo to the store, transfer it over, and then how many units do we want to transfer? Let's go with 900. Just keep a little bit in the store. There we go. And then we want to go move the store, and that is our ship that's on the right side. That's our Beetlejuice that we just bought. Okay, so let's go from the store to the reactor. So that's 2. I guess we could have gone straight from the reactor. All right, so number of units, let's do all 900. Put it all in there. Put the nuclear substance into my ship. Okay, and we're done there. Now that we got it in the ship, now we can fly. You ready? Commence the launch. This is all keyboard control. This is all cursor keys only. Ready? And I'm going up. I'm holding it down. Watch the symbols on the screen. This is us blasting off. Look at that. Vertical going up. Let me bring ourselves down. Less thrust. Once we leave the city, look what happens. It turns into a larger screen. And so that's the first trading post that you can go to. And you have to be able to travel. I'm going to go further here to the right. It is scrolling. It is a Sinclair ZX81 game that is opening you up to a world where you are space trading on Venus. If we're going to actually be able to land, though, is the question. Because once you get close to a base, it zooms in just like we had before, and you end up playing Lunar Lander. But good luck getting there, because you can see I'm having to go by only the numbers. I can barely tell from my ship here. Let's see. I went less thrust. Let's go back a little bit this way. Tone it down. But you're able to travel around to different trading posts and trade and explore. The only thing that this has missing that makes it not even close to something big. Oh, here we go. Miss it. Go. Keep going to the left. It's not even close to something like Elite or some of the other really big space trading games we played, because there's really no combat to this. It's just literally, can you land the ship and have enough supplies? So here we go. I'm trying to land on that base down there. Easy now. Let's not do any thrust. You can see I'm watching my velocity to see where I'm going. I'm not going to the top or bottom. It looks like I'm falling. Nope. And it fell way too fast because you have to watch the numbers. Oh, gosh. I can't believe we didn't die on the launch, but we definitely tried to die. We died on the descent, that's for sure. So that's a really quick taste of Merchant of Venus. This is big. For the ZX81 to be able to play a game of this breadth is fantastic. It is a space trading game with a lunar lander element to it, and it's the very first. We've had lots of other games that are space trading games, but no one's done the lunar lander, like arcade style game with it. So kudos, way to go, Crystal Computing. The other ones usually used a business simulation tied in with the space trading, or a 4X kind of strategy game tied in with the simulation. This is the very first one that's done that. Some of the really good ones that are out there that are space trading games are like Galactic Trader, part of the Galactic Saga trilogy, Planet Miners by Avalon Hill, Color Space Traders, Star Merchant, Galaxy, also by Avalon Hill, or Space Merchant. But none of these other games that we played have mixed the lunar lander with it. So you should also confuse this with Galactic Commander. That was on the BBC Micro. That's only lunar lander. This one adds in the simulation of let's fly around the galaxy. So because of how difficult the controls are, I want to rate it lower, but because of this being a first, I want to rate it higher. So I'm like pushing between 3.5 stars, making this above average. But then because of how difficult it is to control the ship and function and play the game compared to the other space trading games, I want to go 2.5. So I'm actually going to go right down the middle and say, of all the games on all home computers, it's a 3-star game. Merchant of Venus. Wow. On the ZX81. Again, the Micro has just surprises. So many surprises hiding behind the curtain there. I love it. All right, it's time to put the video game playing on pause. Or if you push the wrong key on that keyboard, you might break the whole game. We are going to be having lots of fun playing lots more games coming up on Chronologically Gaming. The next episode, though, oh man, it's the big one. 2 of the most famous licensed video games of the year based on movies fly off the shelves, selling millions. That's it for today, and like I always say, and you thought I was going to play the brand new Indiana Jones. Join Chronologically Gaming and special guest Howard Scott Warshaw for the release of Raiders of the Lost Ark and E.T. for the Atari 2600. For the first time, the creator of these games will be here live in November 1982 to play the games, rate the games, and we may even answer some questions from the chat. We'll see you there. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.